So let us move on and try and understand what is Streamlit. As you can see, Streamlit, right, is an open source Python library. 99% of the services that we are using in Python are open source. So Streamlit is also open source. And it basically is an application which allows us to create beautiful web pages, right? And this can be integrated for your machine learning models or any other web applications also. But because we are talking about CRISP-ML-Q, we will focus only on machine learning models. Easy to create, that is very, very important. And you can also share. There are certain beautiful features that you can actually use with respect to Streamlit. These are unique to Streamlit. So obviously you need to look into those features also. I'll show them. And the advantage of Streamlit is minimal code and very, very simple to implement. It requires very less time. And you can simply deploy your powerful data applications. And generally, and it's not very widely, I cannot generalize it, but what I would say is, generally, when you're working with a model, a project POC development, internal teams would want to focus on the development of the application. So for them, the UI part would not be such an important aspect at that stage. So in these kind of cases where UI should not be focus point, you can use Streamlit to let you not worry on the HTML or the UI part. Streamlit takes care of that. You can focus heavily on your ML code development. Once it is developed, once you are trying to scale it up to production, then you can probably choose how do you want to deploy it. Based on that, you can probably look into alternatives, but Streamlit is still good there as well. And it is growing. So that's a brief intro with respect to Streamlit. The Streamlit installation process is super simple. All you have to do is pip install Streamlit. Now, I will show you the Streamlit UI, this is your Streamlit page, you can see. This is the official documentation, right? And you can very well work with the Streamlit application, okay? And it gives you a lot of readily available information. So yeah, this is the documentation. You can directly go to Streamlit. You can simply say Google search. Let me open this page. Okay? Let me just close it. I'll say streamlit.io. This is your Streamlit. You can create your account, right? You can say sign in. I think mine, it is automatically signing in for me, but you can basically sign up. When you say sign up for the first time, it's automatically taking. Let me go to incognito mode. Okay, let me just try and launch incognito. Where is this URL? Okay, yeah. There you go, incognito mode. And here I would search for streamlit.io. And if I say sign in, it will ask me to continue with Google or GitHub or SSO, or you can use your email ID to log in. All right. So we can always directly connect with GitHub as well, right? That is centralized repository, and it has all those features. Then if you look at the options, right, this is cloud. You can have a community, basically cloud community is there. You can connect with develop your applications here for free, right? And videos are also given so that you can very easily understand what is the process of deploying a application. Gallery is a very, very wonderful option for you to understand what are various capabilities of your Streamlit. Right? You can basically look at all these applications. These are applications which are developed by different people and they are made public. Okay, and you can also take templates from here. These are like your templates. All right. You can go through right all these individual applications. Basic deep learning for Galaxy Zoo, clone retriever, right? Gravitational wave quick view, right? All these are different NLP and language-based applications are all there. Real-time text-to-speech application, computer vision and images-based models, data visualizations. You can also do wonderful visualizations using Plotly and other various libraries and the widgets that Streamlit contains, right? So on and so forth. These are different applications that you have. These are various components that you can also take advantage of in the Streamlit. These are third-party modules, which allow Streamlit to basically enhance the experience of the user. And this is your community. It's an open platform, open forum where a lot of discussions, all those things happen. You can also become a member here to contribute. Then documents. This is your documentation. Very detailed documentation is given, friends. You don't need anybody's help. Even my session is not required. You can just log into these documentations and take the information about all these capabilities of your Streamlit. The cheat sheet application is also there. This is very, very handy. These cheat sheets are very handy. All right. So we will be trying and looking into these things. Anyways, I'll show you. So this is the UI with respect to the main page, login page that you have for Streamlit. So as I said, you need to install the library. And if I have to show you a simple code with respect to Streamlit Hello World code, then we will be trying to go here. Let me close all this. Let me go to this page. I have this code, Streamlit code for Hello World. Okay, so we can simply run this code for generating your Hello World. So let's see. I think this is the code. Yeah, look at that. All we are saying is after installing the library, Streamlit library, you're going to import the Streamlit library. You can say as ST. That is how the general usage is, like pandas as PD, which is globally used. For Streamlit, we use ST. You can change that name anyways, you know that, right? So using the Streamlit, we will be using a lot of these readily available functionalities in Streamlit, which basically allow us to try and understand the widgets, right? Or whatever you want to try and achieve, you can basically use this and get it done. This one is basically allowing us to write. So we are saying st.write. This allows us to display the text on the screen, right? Now, this is the code that I'm writing. It is a Python script as a clt.demo. And for this, I would open Anaconda prompt. Let me close this. This is my GitHub repository. This is the cheat sheet that I was talking about. This is also an application, Streamlit application, right? And then we also have the application. I'm not sure why it is hanged. Let me close this. Okay? This is not required. Okay, done. I've closed it. So first thing is we need to navigate to this location where your code is located. Okay, so you basically need to have a standard followed. So you ensure that for every application that you're trying to generate or develop in Streamlit, you need to make sure that there is a separate dedicated folder. And within this folder, you can say CLT_demo is the file, right? That is your Python file. Now, in this Python file, you have the code. Now you need to run this code. You need to execute this. For Streamlit, you can also say Python -and Streamlit, call that library, and then you run the code, or you can directly say Streamlit run the script. That's all. Streamlit run script. I'll execute this. This would initialize the Streamlit application. You can see here. You can view your Streamlit app in your browser. This is the local URL. It says localhost. The default port number is 8501. And this is network URL. If my server is accessible to the outside world, if it is a public network, then I can use this from any system, any location, and get this accessed by the external world as well. And so that is your URL. And it is automatically launching this. And this is the text that we have. Right? I just have hello world text. Right? So that is how we can execute your code. You can also have the code uploaded into your GitHub repository, and you can run this command. All you need to is call the script. So you can also use URL to access your GitHub code, and then you'll be able to deploy this particular library as well. There's another example here. This is the code that we basically have seen just now, CLT_demo.py. This is the code that we have. And to execute it, you'll say Streamlit run CLT_demo. Likewise, there will be different capabilities. So here, UI is getting generated. So I have this plot_demo.py. Let me open that code and show you. Yeah, plotting app. Yeah. This is my code. So it basically has sidebars, progress bars, right? Empty space, random number generator is there. And then we are trying to have line chart. So all these are Streamlit widgets, right? We call them as components or widgets. So these will automatically give us line chart. It will automatically give us the sidebar, which basically allows us to enter the data. I'm writing a for loop for a range of 1 to 100 with respect to taking these number in read the number, basically random number, and you're doing cumulative sum function, and ultimately we are trying to show the progress bar for your line chart. So based on random numbers, we are trying to generate cumulative sum and then project it. So Streamlit widgets will automatically take care of the UI part based on these functions. So let us run this. Okay? Let us execute this, and then we will understand how the UI looks like. Okay, we've stopped. Control-C will allow us to stop the application. I'll come out of this folder. I have this folder where I have the file plot demo.py file. So I'll again say Streamlit run plot_demo.py. Run this. Job done. We are getting the access. I'll close this. This is your code. And look at that. Progress bar is showing, and this is cumulative sum, which is happening. Random number, using a random number generator, we are trying to get that. visualization. And this is an interactive visualization. Okay. So these are different values that are getting showcased in the UI. You can rerun. You can just say rerun and you'll get this rerun. Done. So on and so forth. I mean, this is basically a line chart and a progress bar that we are trying to showcase. This is what you will see. You will also have these different options with respect to your application. Rerun, there are settings. Record a screenshot will allow us to create a video, and we will be able to share that video also. Then you can also have help, bugs, clear the cache things. You want to deploy this application, you can also deploy it. Again, when you're deploying it, it probably can connect to Heroku also, or you can also directly go to Streamlit Cloud. So there are different options that you can also have in the hamburger menu option on the Streamlit once you have this UI basically from the deployment that you have done. All right, so this is one application. Again, I'll stop this. So, which is creating a line chart in Streamlit's native graphic framework. So we are not bringing up any new HTML or any other code, because everything is internally done. Then we have another code here, right? This is basically a coin flips, and we basically have visualization also here. We are doing histogram, and we will also try and understand the input. So we are taking a user input here, st.number_input. This will be asked the user to give the input value. Okay, and let's see this code. But there's one more very interesting point that you need to look at here. So this is our code, right? Now let us make small change here in the code. Okay, I'll try and change this code. Where is this? Yeah, this is my code. plot_demo .py, right? So I will say this could be from 100 to 51. A small change I did, nothing else. I'll save this. Okay, automatically your Streamlit will understand that there are some changes. It says source file changed. I have not done anything. It's just saved the file in the backend. That's all. Automatically, that changes are detected, and it is asking us to rerun the code, or you can always say rerun. Always rerun will take care of the rerunning part whenever there is any change in the code, right? Or you can manually say rerun. So again, very simple. I'm changing this to 76 now, right? It is not changing yet. Once you say save here, when you say save here, it is automatically running, right? So this is the change, and I'm saying basically 55%, sorry, 75% complete. Right? That is your progress bar that you're trying to showcase. All right. So I'll make it 101 back again, so that it gives us the 100% calculation. Okay, 100% progress bar. Yeah. All right. So let me come out of it. Let me close this. I'll show you another example, and then we will right see how. Maybe let's directly jump into the code that we basically have for our machine learning models. Okay, we will look at the machine learning level, machine learning code, and then we will try and understand how it is getting deployed there. If you look at this, these are some of the commands which basically are used. We have seen st.write, right? So st.write, this is one application that we have, which will take input, right? We'll be able to take that input. You can also give a simple string, right? You can also use markdown. If you are familiar with Jupyter notebooks, then all the features of Jupyter notebook markdown shortcuts can be used here, right? You can set the uppercase letters, lowercase letters. You can add code, you can add comments, all those things that you are generally familiar with respect to your Jupyter Markdown can, can be done here as well. Then we can also talk about the forms, layout of your application that you want to showcase. These are different shortcuts that you can have. Widgets are available. These are different types of charts. We have just now seen line chart. We have also have histogram. We have bar chart, progress chart, right? We have seen some of them. These are some of the additional things. We can also display the other media like video, audio. You just have to say the name, right? And it will be able to read the data. Data frame can also be handled, or table can also be shown, right? So these are all some of the data displaying functionalities. And for everything, you can see it says ST dot. Interactive widgets, checkbox, buttons, download buttons, select box, sliders, inputs. It could be time, it could be date, it could be text data, it could be numeric data, it could be your camera input if you're trying to capture the visualizations, right? So these shortcuts or these information, this information is available in your cheat sheets here. In the documents, you'll have cheat sheets, you'll be able to see all that. And these are your cheat sheets that I'm just showing them. Right? You can go through this and you will be able to very easily write your ML code. Okay. Next, we will be able to run the Streamlit application directly from our local machine. This is code. Let me show you the code of our machine learning model. This is the machine learning multiple linear regression code, right? We basically have the MLR code, which allows us to do the prediction of mileage for fuel, 1 liter fuel, you can say, per gallon fuel, sorry. And this is fuel efficiency basically that we are trying to capture. You can know more about the machine learning model itself by referring to the videos in this particular series. The first video actually has all the details explained about the business problem. So you can go through that. And here we are trying to develop a model. And we defined the pipelines. We used column transformer to basically do the one-hot encoding, or in this case, it is ordinal encoding that we are doing. It's only for demonstration. And then we are saving this model. Then post that, this model can be used for changing your data. For example, here, if you see, this is your code, right? The engine type will be non-numeric values, which can be converted into numeric values using encoding techniques. Post that, we are doing the partitioning of the data, training the linear regression model. And this linear regression model is also getting saved, right? We are saving these models. And these models can be further utilized for model development, right? So this is a sample code. But our code that we need to look at is the Streamlit app. Okay, the Streamlit app is here. This is the same code. All right, let me take this to here. So you can see here we are basically loading the required libraries. Here we have Pickle and Streamlit, that is the two important libraries, and we are basically having the label encoder and machine learning model, saved models loaded, and writing a custom function for doing the prediction. All right. We read the values, the input features. We are reading them as a float, and then trying to do the transformation of the non-numeric data, the engine type, and then apply that for your model. Using the same model, we are doing the prediction. Then we are writing the main function. We are giving a title to the main function. We'll say car fuel efficiency model, and it is going to default, right? Take all the default and basically the UI part. The code here is basically displaying the front end. We are using the HTML rendering. And in that rendering page, we are taking the input. All you have to do is text underscore input. That's all. You're writing a statement saying you want the user to give an input, and these are the options that you are giving for the user, saying one of these options has to be given as an input. Then number input will take the numeric data. We are saying here, this is the range of values that you should pass for these inputs. And once we pass this, right, it is basically doing the prediction by calling your custom function. So this is your main code, which will read the data. And when you are clicking on this button, predict, it is going to trigger this custom function that you have defined here. Custom function is defined here. And the output will be printed. Right? That's all. This is your code. So let us try and run this on our local machine. So if I say dir, you have all this code. I will go into app folder. Yeah, dir. This is my code. This is the Streamlit application code. I will say Streamlit run app.py. Execute that. And yeah, it is giving us the UI. Car fuel efficiency. This is the title that we have given. It's asking us to give one of these inputs. I'll say CNG maybe. Then horsepower, the range could be one of the values within this range. So I'll say 200. It's automatically reading as a float. You can give decimals also. The volume, I will say maybe 100. Or I can also reduce this to 99 or some other values like this. Top speed, again, here I'm going to add, let's say, 35. And the weight, again, this one will be, let's say, 40. Right? And then you'll say predict. This is going to give us the result. That's all. A very simple application that you can deploy. And I have not done any HTML code, friends, here, right? So that is the advantage you have. It is not just this. Now, the advantage that you are basically going to take here is with respect to your GitHub repository. Now, in the GitHub, my code is called as streamlit.py. Same code. I've just loaded it as a Streamlit code in GitHub repository. I would go to that particular repository, go to the file, open it in raw form for the URL, take the URL, and you can come here, right? And you can be in this folder, and then you can say Streamlit run and just give that URL. Copy this and paste it here. That's all. You run it. And this is going to deploy your application from GitHub to your local machine. Okay. There is a small error message which is coming because it's not given any value here, right? So it's by default doing prediction automatically when the main page is coming up. Small change could change that issue, but once I give the input, that error, right? String out of index will go off. So once I get these values, you can say 50. Okay, then I'll say volume is maybe 60. Then I'll say 43. Weight is again, maybe I'll say some number. And when I do that, the error is gone. Okay, so the small issue, it's only a code demonstration, so you can ignore that. But this is how we are going to do the application development. And on the cloud, right, this is how you need to create. So once you connect to the cloud, right, once you sign in, it will directly take you to the cloud platform. And here you will be able to connect to the GitHub repository. You'll have to give your GitHub credentials and redirect the workspaces. You'll have to connect your Streamlit and GitHub. And once that is done, you can say new application here. And from existing repository, you can click on this. And I'm going to click on the test app. You'll have to say whether it is a main branch or do you have a branch, and then identify what is your Python script for your Streamlit. Right? If you are interested to go for advanced settings, you can also say what is the version of Python you need, right? All these basically details can be given. You can also connect to your databases and all that. You can say simply deploy, right? And when I say deploy, it opens this image and your application gets URL, and it will take time for your application to get installed. All we have to do is define your requirements.txt file, and you can put that in your GitHub repository itself. So this is my folder. This is the repository that I was accessing, and here I have streamlit_app.py and requirements.txt. Requirements.txt will have all those libraries that are required for you to ensure that your application is installed, and all the progress that you're seeing will be shown. If you get any errors, you'll also be seeing errors like this. Okay, let me show you. Probably in my previous runs, I might have encountered some errors. Let me just see. Yeah, look at this. So these kind of errors might come in because of the version mismatches and all that. So you'll also be seeing these error messages so that you can work to troubleshoot those errors as well. So all right, friends, this is basically how your Streamlit application will be installed, and it will take time for you to get this code deployed. You can also click on your apps, download lag. You can also click on analytics. All these basically is something that you can do. Nobody has viewed this app yet. I just creating it now, right? And this is basically your workspace. I only have one workspace created, and again, there's no unique viewers yet. Nobody has viewed it, right? So that's basically what you're going to see here. But this is a very, very interactive platform that you can try and use.